This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I am doing good. Back from vacation with the league that never sleeps, and now we got to ponder no Luka, maybe LeBron, and the soap opera in the NBA just rolls right on.
Let me before I get to the loco shit, before I get to maybe NBA shit,
Okay.
let's get to worldwide shit going on. Okay? Talk to me here, because the NBA there's a threat going on to the NBA. You tell me if I'm reading it wrong. You got a powerful agent that says he wants to create a league. You got the NBA now wanting to create NBA Europe and asking for $500 million in expansion fees. And I'm looking at the landscape, Ira, and I'm going, holy shit. The NBA's got a fucking problem that no other pro league in sports has in America. They need the international player. The international punch is growing. And international dollars may be growing, and international cities may be wanting to get involved. And if you have a competing league, could be taking away some of those international players like a Luka Doncic, like a Giannis Antetokounmpo in the future. So is there like some kind of a secondary battle going on for basketball in the rest of the world? Do we have agents? Do we have other leagues? Do we have the NBA? What the hell is going on in the periphery here? Talk to me about this.
First of all, the NBA has no problem for one reason. They're locked into a 7-year cash producing and printing broadcast contract where the money's going to flow in. Here's what's the insane part of it.
I'm talking big picture.
I understand that. But the NBA has a larger broadcast contract than the NFL, which is insane. Now they have more inventory to offer. I understand that. They're
more international, and they're more international. They're the second most international sport in the world.
Behind soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Number one. Number two is the NBA is not in trouble when a franchise is selling for $10 billion. I mean, those are Jerry Jones numbers. Those are NFL franchise numbers. So they're fine there also. What's going on is this. There comes a time in every sport where you're sort of the golden goose. And for those who follow, I know there's not a lot of followers of wrestling on our accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat segment.
Hey,
but
you're insulting Sean there. What do you
okay.
Come on.
All right. Beyond Sean. But what I'm saying is
Square
there was a time.
Digest. Tune in to the Square Circle Digest and get your wrestling content. What's going on?
There was a time in wrestling we saw big, as Sean knows, between the WWE and the WCW. They were both thriving. Ted Turner had his operation. Vince McMahon had his operation. There come times in every sport when it's the moment, and you try to seize the moment. So what the NBA has done now, it has its franchise record valuations. It has its record television contract. So what else? Because the major corporations never stop thinking in terms of growth. They want to be, as you would tell me, Bitcoin. There's always more. There's always a way to generate more revenue. That's what they're looking at. Europe is fertile. What the NBA wants is the best players in the world still to be in the NBA. But the NBA wants those players to grow through an NBA system in Europe. Therefore, NBA Europe. Let Giannis, let Dirk, let the young Lukas play in that league 3-4 years, build their international stars, and then have everyone tuning in for these specially scheduled NBA games that start at 3 o'clock U.S. time, 9 p.m. primetime Europe, and exploit that market also. Then you have someone like LeBron James, obviously a billionaire already, among billionaire athletes today, and Rich Paul and his agent is saying, wait a minute, if you're going to start this project, why start it at the league level? Why not start it at the empowerment player level? So you have that also. And God bless him. We've seen this all over the place. What has failed in pro sports are the direct startups. The USFL, the WFL, in hockey, the WHA. We've seen that. People have tried to start. Now there's the smaller big three, but it's weekend and it's just show up and it's older players is not the same. What Adam Silver recognizes is tiers. Just like the NFL tried with NFL Europe and the games there, and they realized they were better off seizing the market with their regular season games. Maybe one day a team there, not as likely. So I just see what you're seeing is the explosion of the NBA now. Everyone trying to get a piece of the pie. It will not eclipse Europe, what the NBA has, but it can grow in partnership. The difference with the NBA right now is this: the focus is on the dollar, not about the product. It is a business-driven league. It is why you better be able to, Orlando Alzugaray, when we talk about the NBA and our accurate Pembroke Pines reports, be able to watch Peacock, be able to watch Prime, be able to pay your $20 Xfinity above and beyond fee to get the heat on your channels. All of a sudden, in a typical month, just to sit at home on your ass and watch a full slate of Miami Heat games, you're probably talking, without ever going to an arena, probably $45 extra a month just to watch TV. At one point, you would have said, that's preposterous, Ira. No one's going to sit at home and pay to watch games. Well, then the NFL started the Red Zone. They started their direct TV package. And now people realize that that's where it is, and you have to pay for anything. Monetize, monetize, monetize. The screamers we have here are the screamers they have in Europe. There is an extra, there are added revenue areas. That's where they're pursuing. And who gets screwed at the end? The little guys like Orlando Alzugaray and Ira Winderman.
Right. And by the way, the NBA has also added it where I think they're going to do it to the NFL, and there are certain bars around the country that have it, and it's like really exclusive. It's like this special viewing that you're sitting in this screen that it feels like you're right inside the game. I forgot the name of it, but I saw it on.
Well, and they already have their meta goggles. They already have their AI inspiration. They literally give you a seat number.
And with basketball, it's like the coolest. It's like the coolest way to watch basketball.
Yeah, you can be in seat 18A in the lower deck watching the game. It's the same as the guy who's paying $1,200 for their tickets. Now you're at home. They don't have to accommodate you. You don't have to pay for parking. But this is all becoming grand theater. This is all becoming IMAX. This is all becoming next levels. This is all becoming.
Got to entertain.
Hey, if your TV's not 5K now, you're behind the times. Remember when we used to call it a big screen TV or a flat screen TV and it was something special? This is evolution. I mean, honestly, my mother, 94 years old, God bless her, living over in Plantation, loves her Heat. I can't explain her how to watch a game on Peacock, how to put a game on Netflix. She wants to go, what channel is the game on? And I try to explain to my mom, it's not on a channel. So right now, she's not watching the NBA Cup this year because it's way the hell too complex for me to get the games on her TV without her, as anyone who has older parents knowing, without her hitting the wrong button, and then I got to head over and fix the damn TV. So these are different times. The viewing habits are different. The leagues are different. Mock the NBA Cup all you want, but it gave the NBA an extra product that they can then sell to Prime to offer just those games, whether you think they're meaningful or not. Just like we're seeing this cockamamie Leagues Cup, from the MLS teams.
Commissioner's Cup with WNBA.
I'm just saying, it's the Leagues Cup. Ooh, we're better than Mexico. Really? That's the bar we've set? That we can beat the Mexican League?
I got to say, it's the dumbest shit in the world. You're about winning an MLS Cup,
right?
And who gives a shit about the Leagues Cup and your risk? And by the way, this is not hindsight. I said this last week. You're playing a useless tournament and risking injury with this older team. And here you go. Messi gets injured with the hammy. And here's the official thing that goes on in this town, Ira, and you know it. Did we bring out the pots and pans when they won the Leagues Cup last year?
Exactly.
No. So it's not official. If the pots and pans come out, then we care about your title. So if a World Series happens, if an NBA title, if a Super Bowl, if the Stanley Cup happens, the pots and pans come out. That's official. InterMiami's got to understand that. No pots and pans for the Leagues Cup. That means it's not important on our Richter scale here in South Florida.
Yeah, no, and again, but they'll create these events to sell them. Couldn't give a rat's ass about the quality or anything. It's just another product. So when you're asking me about NBA Europe or you're asking me about another league, that's what happens.
Is there a threat that they could lose some of their talent? Can somebody internationally now challenge them for that idea is all I'm saying.
And I'll tell you no for this sort of obtuse reason. Because unless you're famous here, it won't matter. So a guy can be the best player in Europe. We won't know about him. It's different. I don't think, and if we do, it'll be the older player going back, going somewhere else. Honestly, I hate to demean your product. It's like the great Europeans coming to the MLS because they're not good enough anymore for the Premier League. They're not good enough for La Liga. They're not good enough for the Bundesliga, so they come here. So what the NBA can do is, when Luka's time has passed, when Giannis's time has passed, think of some older internationals. Maybe Dirk would have gone there and played 2 more seasons when he could have played here. You know what the perfect example is? You're old enough to know this. When Bob McAdoo left the NBA and thrived in Italy for years, because against that competition, he can still be a star. I think it'll be more of that, but it's more about the money. Not a threat now, maybe down the road.
The other thing that I wanted to ask you, Joel Embiid, how bad is this, bro? Because it looks like his career is on the brink, pretty much.
And yet, Big O, you've watched enough basketball. He never moved well. He always sort of moved like an arthritic old man. It is hard for taller players and what they go through and the extra weight and stress on their joints. So when you see that he's having trouble and he can't move, I'm not saying it's arthritis, but it looks like arthritis. And all of us as relatives have people. I've come off the tennis court, I can say, and you can feel it. And it's one thing to feel it a little. It's another thing to be pushed through 82 regular season games, then at least 28 playoff games to win a championship. So you could see Philadelphia right now, when we're talking about the teams to challenge, when you're saying to me, I reckon the Heat contend, I will point to New York, I'll point to Orlando, I'll point to Cleveland. Philadelphia is the classic team of older players who are just older players. Between Paul George just having surgery, going to miss the preseason, maybe back for the start of the season, Joel Embiid. You know what's interesting? If the accurate Pembroke Pines report and the Big O show was in Philadelphia, you would be telling me right now, Ira, you have Gerard McCain, you have Tyrese Maxey, play into the younger players that you have there right now. Go in that direction. It's a little bit Heat-like. What did they do when Joel Embiid got too old? They brought in Paul George. We've been through that. We've been through the bringing in the constant old players that Kevin loves until you realize it doesn't get you where you want to go. Philadelphia is that team. Yes, in a perfect world, in the playoffs, if Embiid and Paul George show up healthy, they can beat anyone. But Big O, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. And the more you talked about the Embiid situation, and we've talked about this also in general in the past, I think every big man should go and seek out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's advice on pretty much everything when it comes to basketball. Longevity, how to take care of your body, because he was Mr. Yoga and karate, and obviously he what he put in his body, and he lasted forever in this league. Plus, we've always talked about, go talk to this man how to shoot the skyhook, because
play with grace. Play with grace, because
the world.
His prime shot was not a physical play. It was almost going away from the basket. He knew not to bull his way in there when he was in his late 30s. That it takes that kind of toll. Yeah. And what did Joel Embiid
go to that man? If I'm a young center, bro, go to that dude. Go find out why he was so good at everything that he did and why he's one of the 5 greatest players. Some will tell you he's the greatest player of all time. And I don't argue with people that tell me Wilt or Kareem or anything like that, because these people were freaks in their own way. They should go seek his advice, because everything he did it right, dude. And he extended his career like nobody else
by playing the right way. Yeah.
And he created a shot that was unstoppable. It's really crazy when you see shit like this with Joel Embiid, and then you look and you go back into time. And by the way, traveling in those days, the basketball that was played in those days, It was way more
There
brutal.
were no flagrant fouls. Why did
Yeah.
they call a flagrant foul back in his day a foul?
Yeah,
That's the difference. Yeah, that was the difference back then. So you could see you have to play within yourself also. Totally respect it, but you also have to realize because of the way the game is played now, still to a degree, you take a huge risk with older players. Let's face it, LeBron James left here because he saw Dwayne Wade getting old. That's what happens. You have to realize only the Miami Heat still push players late into their 30s. They seem to be changing right now. I think Pat Riley realized loyalty only gets you so far. You need to be young and athletic and vibrant as well.
All right. Mikal Bridges. You know me. I don't want anything to do with the future with Tyler Herro. I would have traded him in the deadline if I could. I'll trade him in the next deadline if I can. 4-year, $150 million. You talk to me about, does this create problems for the Heat?
That's a fine template. If Tyler's going to come in at 37.5 and people get over the number itself and just realize the portion of the cap it takes, that will work with the Heat. That will give them cap room down the road. That's a reasonable number. Here's the problem. Tyler Herro's been an all-star. Mikal Bridges has never. Tyler Herro has won an individual award, NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Mikal Bridges has never. Tyler Herro has gone to 2 NBA finals. Mikal Bridges hasn't. So Tyler Herro is going to go, this is my resume. And what I wrote in my Ask Ira at sunsentinel.com is this. And to me, Big O, this is the huge difference of even giving him the same money. Mikal Bridges is a two-way player. Mikal Bridges, you could put on the court at any point during the game, including closing time defensively, and you're fine. As long as Tyler Herro remains a one-dimensional offensive player who can be played off the floor, I have a rule. If you can be played off the floor at any point during the game, you don't get over $30 million, or at least you think long and hard about it because you're not a complete player. Right. And what I can't stand, and I see this all the time, you see Tyler Herro working out in the offseason or working on his shot or working with his trainers on his offense. I need a defensive boot camp somewhere. I need a Paris Island of NBA defense somewhere. Remember Pete Newell used to have his big man's camp out in San Francisco. He just worked with big men. They worked on their post play. There has to be some coach who is a defensive whiz who can work with these players. So my question is this. Before I give Tyler the money, I need an NBA expert to tell me, based on his body of work, based on his body, based on who he is, can he get better defensively? Because you know what? There's a reason Tyler hasn't won a championship. It's the same reason Trae Young hasn't won a championship. And these other players that get played off the floor. Now, if you're transcendent on offense, like Steph Curry, you can live without the defense. Even Kyrie Irving is a much greater basketball talent than Tyler Herro. You might not agree with his views, with his attitude, with his weirdness, but he's a better player. So unless you are transcendent on offense, if you can't do it defensively, you're going to give up some. The top players, the max salary players, probably give you 10 to 15 more points per game than their matchup. Tyler Herro, I'm not so sure that in giving you his 23 points, he's not giving up 18 to 20 also. That's the difference. It's a hard call. We know that free agency is dying. We saw that with Luka Doncic re-upping, Mikal Bridges re-upping. Everyone re-upping. So you're not just going to jump out on the market and replace someone. So it's hard to let talent go. So I think what the Miami Heat has to do, which you suggested, is there a trade package where they can get something more complete? If there is, I seize that moment. If there's not, it's hard to let an asset just walk. That's the tough part of the decision.
And it also shows the way things have changed because the Heat, if you were going to play on the Heat, it was required for you to play some kind of defense and do. I'll give you an example. Tim Hardaway. Mm-hmm. Tim Hardaway was never a great one-on-one defender, and he wasn't even known to defend. But once he got here, the whole weight clause and all that. Sure, that was one thing. But I remember watching Tim Hardaway take charges. I remember Tim Hardaway having his hands in the passing lanes, and he got a lot of steals that way. He wasn't going to steal it off one-on-one on a defender, but you made some kind of a cross-court pass or somewhere into the – he got his hands involved in there, and he would pick up a couple of those every once in a while, and he'd help you out in that sense. He became a little bit more of a better team defender with the Miami Heat, taking the charges
and that's all well and good, Big O, and I understand that. And that's the little saw.
I need you to get to what my point is. I need you to improve in that area, and that just doesn't seem to be a requirement anymore in Heat Nation.
Oh, it's a requirement, but you can't get blood from a stone. You can't tell someone who's 6 feet to dunk the ball more. You can't tell Shaq to make more free throws on a higher percentage. Sometimes you are what you are. I don't like the saw that you're offering of at least he's a team defender, because in the playoffs, they get you on an island. They set the screen, they isolate, and you are like in those Bugs Bunny cartoons with this fresh steak that they're looking at. You're the fresh meat out there, and that's a problem. So you were mentioning before I came on how what Mike McDaniel can't do, that Eric Spoelstra can do, he can find a way to somehow make it work. Yet, Big O, here we are, 7 years into the Tyler Herro experiment, and I've yet to become convinced that Eric Spoelstra can find a way to compensate for Tyler Herro's defense. And that's a concern when you're reaching the point of October 1st, walking into the door, Pat Riley, and saying, $50 million a year, how are we going to get that done? And if you're the Heat, you're going to go, well, Tyler couldn't get it done defensively. My Hall of Fame coach couldn't get it out of him defensively. So, Mickey, I'm not so sure you want to write that check thinking you're going to get it out of him defensively. Tyler Herro is a good to great offensive player. You have to be a great and above and beyond offensive player, like a Steph Curry, to compensate for the defense. True.
Terry Rozier, what's the latest in that situation?
You know what? This is not an NBA issue. They said they're done with their investigation. They have certain lengths they can go to. It's not a Heat issue. At some point, the federal government either will move or not move. If Terry Rozier is found to be complicit, the NBA wipes him off the books, just like Jonte Porter. There's a lot of money there. But when do they do it? Because literally, when the regular season starts, the clock of money adding up against the tax for Terry starts. When the federal government indicts, if they move in that direction, then his money comes off the books, but only at that point. So for the Heat, does it happen in December, in January, in February, in March, or not at all until Terry's contract expires? What I've seen a lot are these Terry trade machinations and what they can do. And I will say this, Terry Rozier is nothing more than a contract at this point. If Terry Rozier is traded, my thought is the other team will say, stay at home, collect your money. But if you're the Heat, you don't let him walk for the reason you still could use his contract in a trade. You had a chance for Terry, a second-round pick, maybe 2 second-round picks for Marcus Smart. Something like that will come around again. So a lot of times it's unfortunate you hold on to the contract simply because it's a contract that you could throw into a balancing equation for making a trade.
So you believe in the new Luka Doncic?
Hey, he did what was asked of him. And I think he realized if the Lakers are going to pivot away from LeBron James being their franchise player, he better step up to the plate. Actually, he better step away from the plate, which is what he did. Give him all due credit. He realized that he had his injuries in Dallas, so we have to see the next time he gets injured, does the weight just come all back when he can't do what he's doing? Don't need to know what he took to get there. NBA testing will begin soon enough. We'll find out. But hey, they asked him to do something. They said, we will show you the money if you do this. He did that. He got the money. He is now the face of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I got to tell you, a Doncic in that shape is going to be really freaking scary, bro.
And really make Dallas look even worse with one of the worst trades in NBA history.
Yeah, there's no way to even ever make up for that trade. I mean, just like that was a criminal trade, dude. That's not a trade you make ever.
Yeah, and people always go, the commissioner should have banned it. We talked about that in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report. Commissioners can't do that. They can't have prevent someone from doing bad business. You know, there was Donald T. Sterling in this league for years. You have to put up with that also. Yeah.
Stupidity is stupidity.
Stupid is stupid done. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cleveland Browns giving Deshaun Watson a complete contract in the year. You're talking about a guy that's, rape allegations. You you can't really protect from stupid, man.
Yes,
I mean, you can't do anything about that. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Really cool feature I just posted on Norman Powell. He's playing with the John Rockers, the Jamaican national team. They're trying to get back on the international scene. Of course, you know, Jamaica with the great track and field history, Usain Bolt, with the great soccer history, the Reggae Boys. And I spoke to Norman. They're practicing up at Florida Atlantic in Boca Raton. And he said, we're more like the bobsled team. We're more like Cool Runnings. No one expects anything. They're going to a tournament this week in Mexico. They're going to play other lesser teams from the Americas trying to qualify for the World Cup. Norman found out his father's from Kingston, Jamaica. He got the paperwork. You know what? I would rather have a member of the Miami Heat playing an organized basketball than some of these open runs down at the Miami Pro Summer League where you have a greater chance to get injured. So Norman be jamming, and we'll see if he can get Jamaica onto the national stage. Really fun story. Looking forward to that. I asked Ira today, someone asked me about Russell Westbrook. He said, nope, no more guards who can't shoot. We don't need that. Let him go to a winner. Let him be someone else's problem. So, hey, it might be August. Still plenty of NBA in your South Florida Sun Sentinel.
No more 2-point players in a 3-point world.
I am all there with you, and that's what I wrote.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And, of course, we thank our friends at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Ira, as always, we will catch up next week, my friend. Thank you so much for the time.
I be jamming, and I be jamming next week again on the Acura of Pembroke Pines report. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. All right. The Summer of Performance sales event is going on right now at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. The 2025 Integra, 3.9% financing for 60 months. You can get it for $299 a month. The ADX, the brand new model, beautiful sedan, 4.9% financing for 60 months, $349 a month. We still have 2024 ZDX models, so this is really, really cool. You can get a great deal, $469 a month. Got 2025 also, 0% financing for 72 months on the 2024s. Take advantage, 0% financing for 72 months. Gets over 300 miles. Awesome. The RDX, my wife drives it every day. $419 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Get on down there to 15601 Pines Boulevard. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man. Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the great people out there at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.